It's infinite space. That's why, I like to explain to people what God is. If you want to know, God is the space. You're the object. So God wants to experience the object, and you want to experience the space. So y'all go hand in hand. If you remove the objects, the space is still there. What has more value? Space. This room has more valuable. This room is more valuable when the stuff was gone. That's why y'all rented it. There was stuff already in here that has no value. Y'all don't see that. So the space wants to experience the object, and the object wants to experience the space. But all this hoopla and boo blah blah, and let's keep it real. We're on a planet that's actually spinning. Gravitation is keeping you to the ground. Of course we got extraterrestrials. That's who's fucking keeping you alive, motherfucker. If it wasn't for their asses, we'd be done out this bitch. They're the ones moving it around. That's why my homie said, isn't it funny? What if you die and then you go to, your planet where the aliens are, and they're like, oh, wasn't that a hell of a ride? And you're like, yeah, motherfucker. They were like, we watching you all this time. We watching it live. That's why if you listen to the Frank Ocean song recently, he says something about the aliens are watching live. Because he's speaking in the aspect of, we're on a planet, your physical DNA has everything in the solar system in your body. You have iron, you have the stars in you, have everything. There's enough light in you to illuminate a whole city for a couple of days. But you've been condensed to a silly little human being that pays your rent. Now, you can't be mad because the people that are running the racket, they're trying to get paid. As long as they keep you under it's like pretty much the pimp in the hoe. That's why the pimp makes so much money. You're being pimped. And you're being pimped because the people who have the ultimate power know all this shit. Mm-hmm. They know all this shit, I'm saying. They would be upset like, how the fuck you know this shit? I need to get him. It's like the movie They Live. We can see him right now. He's coming. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what the scenario is, because we've been living as a controlled society that's been moved in directions that's not on our own. That's why I'm about to buy the greatest book that I think everybody needs to get, Public Opinion by Walter Lippmann. And Public Opinion describes that the fact that they have already brainwashed you, where you already have little pictures of how things should be in society and everything's so grand, when really that's not even the way you should be thinking. That's why the way you guys are thinking is obscure to the average person.
Yeah, they don't.
Like, oh, you're gonna make.
They don't want to. Yeah.
Like, what is that? Y'all, how y'all gonna make? See, they throw the negativity of the first of all, money is good, but in this living under white supremacy, and then I pull my money out, and it's a white dude on it. It don't make me really want this money. I want some different money, man. Give me some different shit. Like, that's why I like the idea of the Bitcoin, because at the end of the day, people who create. We don't even need money. We could do the bartering system.
Right.
I'll give you a clothes, you give me a beat. Here's a pair of jeans, you give me this hamburger.
Right.
Everybody that's actually producing something, we could all operate in the bartering system.
Yep.
But everybody who's, look. If you pull the plug on all these people depending on the government, and we pull the plug on all these people who depend on money, it will be fucked. The creative person will be the ultimate ruler. The farmer will be the motherfucking billionaire of this motherfucker. Because before I can make clothes and y'all can make beats, we start off eating. And half of us are fucked up because of the food we eat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, focus on the locations of the restaurants that people are eating and then the neighborhood they live, and you will understand why there's violence and chaos. I mean, you got McDonald's, Burger King. Of course the people are fucked up. Because think about it, we don't have that many cows to produce 100 million burgers.
Nope.
There's not that many. Cows are not... We're not slaughtering that many cows, and people who are actually eating the cow, they're actually eating like Kobe beef, like the cow's been like treated good.
Right.
Because any animal that you're eating that went through a traumatic circumstance, you're eating that energy.
I heard about that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if he got slaughtered, he's like, ah, you're eating that.
That's why people get sick.
All the world star videos in McDonald's wilding out. Then when my friend tells me FBI just posted something. And people are, I don't believe it. FBI's not going to post it where it's going to go on fucking YouTube. It's not going to go on the regular shit. But I trust my mans because he's a financial advisor. He don't need to lie about the fact that he discovered in this FBI report that they're using human filler with the meat.
Right.
They're using horse and they're using actual human flesh.
Yep.
Like,
what the fuck?
when people die, You do not know what they're doing with the bodies. You know, like, that's what I'm saying. People need to take it a step further because people don't know. There's mad people. Look, they got scenarios where people are going to the hospital, going to go visit their loved one at the coroner's office, and all their organs have been removed. And they stuffed it with fucking newspaper and sewed them up. But you wouldn't know because it's like, yo, let me check to make sure my loved one has their organs in there. But they're not telling you that. It's a lot of fuckery. Like half of these people that been dying in different scenarios, I just found out that you can literally type in their health history. Then based on their health history, then you'll be like, yeah, that's why they died. All right, he smoked.
He ate junk food.
He ate junk
McDonald's.
food. So the coroner report would be like, he died from, I don't know. They'll just make up something.
Heart disease.
He'll die from heart disease. You know, and you'd be like, well, he had a bullet. You know, like, you know, they just make up so much weird stuff because you're dealing with a spiritual battle that you cannot fight physically, and it's not even your job to put your mind on it mentally either, because the truth is not something that you understand, it's something you feel. I can never really explain the truth to somebody in words. It's like explain a phenomenon. Like, how the fuck can I use words like, there's no words to describe you. There's no words to describe a tree or anything. Everything in this world is practical. We need time because I may be like, yo, meet me over here. I can't just say meet me over there. I need an actual time.
It's a tool,
It's a tool, but we've took so many different things and took them as the actual reality. There's the absolute reality, and then there's the conceptual reality. We're in a conceptual reality where everything is a concept of how things should be. It's not the actual way things are. It's just the concept. That's why I say Jesus is good, but it's the concept of Jesus.
Right.
Don't be putting them on the wall. First of all, you should worship anything that doesn't look like you. If you do, then you are actually going with the ultimate aspect of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because white supremacy is based on suppressing the people so they can remain in the position that they are. Because what's really going on is that their time to rule is up.
Mm-hmm.
It has to change over to somebody else. Because if they've been ruling for some reason, you want to go with the God, the question is, how have you been ruling?
Yeah.
How have you been treating the people? And they have to answer. They don't want to answer. They don't have no answers. Because they're not real. They're called albinoids.
There you go.
They're transgression. They actually have a deficiency, which they try to seem like it's the ultimate when it's really the deficiency. You lack pigmentation. You're no different from an albino. So you need to brainwash everybody. Look, when Christopher Columbus went around and saw that it was more dark-skinned people than it was white people, he had to go. That's why they call it think tanks, to sit around like, how can we fucking rule this situation? Because they know they lack in so many different areas. They had to work. They had to become better at being better chess players, and figure out what your situation. Like, most of us operate on emotion. When you're dealing with certain white businesses, you can be as flustered as you want. They'll still be,
Fuck yeah, like
I'm
that.
sorry,
Yeah.
I can't help you. Have a nice day. Because they're stern chess players. You're like, you need to, look, he's making his move. You make your move. But you can't, look, when you're playing chess with somebody, you can't be emotional. You know, it's not about me hating white people or any of that, because I understand they're operating based on their programming. They were programmed by, if you want to believe me or not, they were programmed by a black scientist from the extraterrestrial realm that created them because of what happened to his own family. So he was in the yard playing with some magnets, and he also found out that in his pigmentation he had lighter and he had darker. And he's a scientist, and we could do it ourselves. We could create our own race. You take one dark-skinned and light-skinned, you keep going. He did it for 600 years, and you could create. That's what all these mixed kids are. This is a whole nother new race out there now, and there's probably 8 different people now. They're like, oh, I'm Italian, I'm this. You're like, fuck. Like they just showed something on the other day. It showed all these celebrities that had black. And you're like, damn, I didn't even know. Like the guy from Breaking Bad, I was like, wow, you was black.
Which
like
guy?
the star from not Breaking Bad, but what's the show where you break out of jail?
Prison Break.
Prison Break.
Oh.
The star from Prison Break, he's half black. You're like, wow, you didn't even know that. So it doesn't matter about ethnicities. First of all, I want people to know race means you're in a race, you're in a competition. That's the whole concept of what it is. You've been brainwashed to think it's your skin. No, that's dumb. Like slavery.
That's crazy, bro.
Slavery didn't have nothing to do with your skin tone till the Catholic Church put that in there. You were a slave based on you owed somebody money, so you need to work for them, religious persecution, or you were a prisoner of war.
Yeah.
Then, after Henry Navigator gave some slaves to the Pope was so appreciative, he gave him 300 miles of the coastline, which he didn't even own. But if you get a comprehension, the Pope was like the almighty of everything back in the day. He was the almighty everything and the money. So the Pope seen, basically, once the Pope seen that slavery was actually, people were picking slaves from Africa, he went ahead and made a public declaration and sent it out saying that slavery is a legitimate business and that dark-skinned people should be slaves. That was the fourth one. But for the beginning of time, it was just operating off the three. It had nothing to do with your skin tone. But this information that I'm discussing, as you can see, I'm getting hot or whatever. This information I'm discussing is key information to help you acknowledge the world you live in. Stop being a person that just walks around lost. Like, if you live in a city, you should know your mayor, you should know your city councils, and you should know what the fuck they're doing. Don't just be a regular, because what I'm saying is you're getting took advantage of the lack of knowledge. The lack of knowledge, and knowledge that is not power unless you actually apply it. And the only way to apply it is it has to be correlated to your own development. Look, you guys going after your dream to be producers, I guarantee it would help you become better men. Me starting my own business is pretty much like a substitute dad. Because when you own a business, it makes you disciplined, it makes you it makes you push yourself in ways that you wouldn't be able to normally do.
Right.
So it becomes, I can honestly say, Tough Times has been my father. Because it's made me push myself to go above and beyond, to put money in things that I may not wanted to do, to step out on a limb, to go places. Like 2012, I went to San Francisco on a train. I ain't never been there in my life. Me and D. I paid for his trip. He just had to cover his own. We ain't never been to San Francisco in our life, but we got the right information. See, the right information will allow you to be confident to know when you go somewhere, you can be all right. You know, I picked the brain of another successful clothing line, which is inevitable, which you should do. Pick the brains of other people that are successful to help speed the process up. Mm-hmm. I picked their brains. They told me, you know, what funny thing about, like you said, 85% of the masses don't embrace knowledge. So people will tell you shit. They don't think you're actually going to do it. Not this guy. He told me vague information, no pen and paper. I just soaked it in, went home. I followed everything to the T. I even raised money, went to San Francisco, followed everything he told me to do. The second day I got an account. Now the account didn't work out, but the second day in a city you've never been and you're already getting an opportunity to be in the store shows you this information that he provided you speeds the process up 10 times fold. Like, because this information that I was trying to retrieve, it's like a $200 software program online to learn how to really build your streetwear brand, and it's pretty much telling you the same shit that he told me in a 30-minute conversation. You know, all the things to do, and I went ahead and did them, and you know, the rest is history. But you know, I just want people to know that you must chase your dream, because you will never experience or meet God until you do. Mm-hmm. And when I say the God, it's infinite space, so you're gonna feel euphoric energy in you. You're gonna feel, if you have never felt the inside of your body, then you ain't chased your dream yet. And it starts from a tingle from your feet, through your legs, through your chest. You feel it. It's euphoric. But if you never experienced that, you have never experienced God. You could go to church all you want, but if you read the Conversations with God, he says, we're having church right now. It's not a box. Y'all put me in a box. I'm not a box. It's cool to have be around other people to congregate and talk about Jesus, but it makes no sense. Like this information that we know, I'm saying it to the camera, but all three of us pretty much know we're preaching to the choir. But they're afraid, like I like what this one dude, don't skip church on the way to church. Don't be on a rush to get to church. You pass up the homeless guy, the lady who needed maybe a couple dollars, the lady who needed walking across the street. You pass up all the elements that actually correlate to the whole scheme of things to go to this one building to talk to other people that know the same information you know. Then y'all get insulated because we all have been to church and we all have felt certain weird, just isolated feelings. Like, even if they did come up and shake your hand, this is the biggest thing I want people to know. A lot of times, what we call love is really guilt. So don't get love correlated to a guilt. Like I have certain family members that I love to death, but I know they only do things based on guilt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, that nigga doing bad. Let me go help him now.
Yes.
It's not genuinely I'm gonna do this. Like a lot of these women that you're pursuing, they don't love you. You don't love them. It's lust. And it's no problem with lust. It's mating. That's why the theory of getting married and having kids is awesome because you need to procreate. But the concept of marriage has nothing to do with paper. See, once you let the government into this equation, I understand it that you get tax, it's tax deductible. Society welcomes people that are married, or if you have a girlfriend, like single guys, like, oh, you're a rapist. What are you doing? Like, what are you up to? Like, I'm not really.